Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. I actually wanted to talk about a few things today. The next concept ship rumours, and it will be a little bit of a rumour mill there, and a closer look beyond the 3.0 schedule, focusing on some of the ships that were on the schedule that we didn't really talk about in the 3.0 to 3.2 rundowns that we did, as well as some weapons, taking us into midway 2018-ish. Concept ship rumours. So I thought the next concept ship was going to be that 600 series from Origin, that luxury ship, but the Aegis Eclipse or Saber Raven were very much hinted at the next concept ship in Quantum Questions by saying, I don't know, I haven't seen it. The question was asked, what's the next concept ship? It was specifically asked to him for him to answer, and he said, I don't know, I haven't seen it. And it was hinted in the way that he wasn't just saying, I haven't seen it, he was saying, I haven't seen it. You know what I mean? I suspect that this will be most likely a stealth ship that we will have seen or not seen. I may have, it may have some other side to it, like E-War or Interdiction, or maybe even being a Super Saber. The Raven strikes me, because the Saber Raven's a ship here, strikes me as being a black ship in the same way that Void Armor makes the Hornet Ghost black. The Ravens in some games are scouts or sensor or radar specialists, so that's what I'm expecting from the Raven, either a Super Saber or something a bit more stealthy. The Eclipse, to me, it feels like it may block or prevent things, so maybe E-War or Interdiction. Some might also interpret that as a stealth ship or even a large ship. There was vague references to Project Eclipse, as well as ways of blocking out the sun. There are many ways of doing that. So we don't really 100% know, but what do you think? Tell me in the comments below. I like this kind of theory crafting. We know that the Origin 600 series will be a luxury ship, thinking constellation size, 890 jump kind of thing. The Xi'an Nox, which is going to be another concept ship coming on sale soon, is an open canopy jet bike of some description. Let's have a closer look at the 3.0 schedule now, though. So lots of stuff that's being worked on during 2017 and beyond was detailed in the schedule report. There's also a kind of roadmap graph thing that they've shown with timelines and bars and stuff, and there's some of this doesn't appear on the text page of that schedule report. So I just wanted to highlight some of those items that we haven't talked about before, mainly ship weapons, XPS weapons, and ships that they're working on. So ship weapons, a lot of ship weapons are moving over to a modular sets and replacing the older weapons with these modular sets as well. But there's also going to be a load of new ones as well. I believe this means, when I say modular sets, that they're themselves going to have various components, upgrades and changes you can make to them. Think different ammo types, longer barrels, different magazines, faster firing rates, better cooling or accuracy. But these upgrades are likely to have different trade-offs as well. Taking more power, needing larger ammo, less accuracy or range or more heat. The item system 2.0 that's coming into the game from 3.0 onwards will allow this kind of functionality. Some of these weapons are mentioned in the schedule report. These are the Apocalypse Arms Ballistic Scattergun from size 1 to 3, the Ammon and Rees Omni-Sky Laser Cannons. Obviously some of these we have and are being replaced by these new modular sets, size 1 to 6. So I'm interested in seeing a size 6 Omni-Sky Cannon, especially from these new modular types of weapon. Preacher Armaments Distortion Scattered Gun from size 4 to 6. So we haven't really seen these before. These are going to be pretty big scatter shotgunny type things. The Max Ox NN series neutron repeaters, size 1 to 3. The Preacher Armament Plasma Beam. I'm quite interested actually in the Plasma Beam, and they're doing size 1 to 6 here. But I'm interested in seeing the Plasma Beam and the Hurston Dynamics Electron Beams, which are also being worked on, size 1 to 3. Some of these weapons we haven't seen before, and I'm interested to see what they actually are going to be. Obviously they didn't want beam weapons, specifically like phasers or anything in-game, but we'll have to see how they handle these. These might not be beams in the traditional sense that we think of them. Those sets are all pegged for Q3 to 4 2017, so expect them in 3.1, 3.2 of the alpha, but these will allow for huge amounts of options, customization, and make Arena Commander a very different game. These new sizes of weapons, also these new modularity of the weapons, but just lots of new weapons, and every time they add a new weapon, it could drastically affect meta, and that's the sort of thing I quite like. A reasonable amount of balance, but a lot of these weapons are better for taking out shields, these weapons are better for taking out armor, and these are long-range weapons, but you have to come up with a nice mix of weapons in some cases, rather than monoboating. There are lots of FPS weapons too, that should all be here by Alpha 3.1 in fact. Obviously we've mentioned the Scourge shoulder-mounted railgun before. This is going to help bridge the gap between air and ground combat, so that it will literally be shooting from ground to air, which is going to be cool, because I'm interested to see how effective those sort of weapons will be, even just a couple of them against a smaller ship. Also, we're going to see the Gemini H-29 heavy machine gun at some point, the P-8SC ballistic SMG, as well as knives, melee weapons, and melee combat, as well as throwing weapons. So, throwable weapons and that sort of stuff, as well as melee, that's quite exciting to have in the first-person shooter stuff. They are mixing that down with takedowns and that's kind of stealthy kills as well. Also, maybe for 3.2 we might see a crossbow as an FPS weapon as well. That was promised a long time ago, and we should hopefully see it around then. There's also some ships on the schedule as well, so we've talked about a few of the ships coming over 3.0 and 3.2 already, so check out my previous videos on the 3.0 and 3.1, 3.2 schedule reports to look at all of that. But there are some other stuff that wasn't really mentioned on those schedules that should hopefully be coming relatively soon, and we'll talk about them. So, the consolidated Outland Mustang updates. So the Mustangs are getting a very well-needed update and polish. That should be towards the end of 2017, bringing them up to the standard of the rest of the Star Citizen ships. At the moment, it's pegged for November time. Expect something possibly for 3.2 if we're kind of lucky, although it might get pushed out of that. There's also going to be some additional Hornet updates that are apparently towards the end of May this year. Hornets are getting additional updates. We don't know exactly what they are. We may see an F7A too as early as 3.0. I'm interested to see if we do see those military variants of the ships that I thought were being held back for Squadron 42, but it's looking more likely we might see some of them in-game before that. Not all of those ships, but maybe some of them. The Aegis Reclaimer is pegged for 2017. The Mighty Reclaimer could make it in-game for 3.1 or 3.2. It's pegged to be finished in September of this year. It's a massive capital-sized salvage ship with vibes of the Nostromo. It's become my favourite ship after seeing it in my Foundry 42 tour. Big, grindy, nom-nom. It's a beautiful ship, and I think it's going to have lots of uses, not just salvage, but I do think it's going to be one of those ships that can make a lot of UEC in-game, and I am extremely excited about it. The Hurricane as well, so the Hurricane's pegged to possibly be completed in December. The Hurricane is a heavy fighter, which is basically a 2-crewman gun platform. It's due to the fact that no additional mechanics are needed for this ship, that it's brought so quickly from concept to possibly being finished by Christmas. That said, it's important that they get the turret mechanics in place for this now. So they need to make not just manned turrets work well, but also be the preferred choice for ships like this. Otherwise, people are just going to fly them solo with slave turrets, and that's not what we want. We want those ships to be like gun turrets. People manning those guns can be dangerous for fighters trying to attack them. The 890 jump, so moving into March 2018, it's a little far away, but it's still earlier than I expected. The 890 jump is that luxury Corvette-sized cruise ship. It's pegged to be completed in March 2018, and that's in my top 5 ships as well. Pretty much all of these ones we're discussing are now. I love the look and idea of the ship. Gameplay-wise, we should have to see what's in store for it later, though. We don't know exactly what missions-wise we're going to get for it. Expect, though, transporting VIPs, touring, an Orcs command ship, maybe diplomatic missions. It's cool, it's expensive, it's supposed to be a yacht. The Banu Merchantman, so taking us into May 2018, the Banu Merchantman should be complete. For a lot of people, this has been their favourite ship, and quite controversial in some aspects, people wanting them to work on it. It is going to be worked on, and so we've seen it go through a second phase concept, where it's evolved in both size and look, and it's now expected to be Polaris Corvette sized, around 155 meters long. This floating bazaar of a trade and cargo ship should give you some unique and interesting gameplay, basically a mobile shop and trade outpost. Anvils, Carrack, that's what's coming in May as well. Again, in May 2018, the Carrack exploration vessel is pegged to be complete. Again, another large ship suitable for long-range exploration, as well as having a rover and the Pisces exploration snub. It's outfitted with medbay, scanners, mapping rooms, and more, and it's seen as like top-tier exploration as a ship. Big ships, but that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to talk about some of those stuff that was left off what's going to be in 3.2, and it was shown on the schedule report, but wasn't really told when we were going to get it, what patch we were getting it in, just dates when they expected those things to be complete. And if you want to see more from the schedule report, please check out robertspaceindustries.com schedule-report. I've also put my own one together, listing some other bits and bobs, like when ships are going to be completed and that sort of stuff as well, which I try to update relatively regularly. But that's kind of all I wanted to talk about. I wasn't expecting some of these larger ships to be completed. Even towards the end of 2018, I wasn't expecting some of these to be completed. But with the possibility of seeing the Reclaimer in 2017, that very much excites me. Every month, you can win a ship by being subscribed to the channel and commenting on any of our Star Citizen videos from that month. For May, it's an Avenger Titan. So tell me, what do you think about these larger ships? Do you think that they're taking a long time? Do you think you're excited that we could see the Reclaimer as early as the end of 2017? Tell me. A massive thank you to my patrons who help support the channel and allow me to create content more easily. If you're interested in anything we've talked about or becoming a Patreon, please check out the links below in the description. Remember, liking and subscribing really does help me, and I will see you in the verse.